Ándale pues. Bueno, buenas tardes a todos, a todes, a todas. Soy yo otra vez, tu hermano en la luz, Jesús Cuauhtémoc Villa. It's me again, your brother in healing and resistance, Jesús Cuauhtémoc Villa, aka El Curandero Güero. I just wanted to upload another video on some of the wonderful medicinal plants that you can find all over the valley. So last time I was looking at some plants that you can just find in pretty much any alleyway. And these ones are in a neighbor's yard. They were kind enough to give me permission to film. I'm going to keep their address and everything out of it. But you will see a lot of these flowers just growing along roadsides, along ditches, people's yards. Of course, you should never, ever, ever enter somebody's property, film their property, or take their property without their permission. It's just, you know, it's just rude, but that's also against the law. So. But if you do have their permission, or if it's growing in public spaces, it's pretty much free game, or fair game. So I wanted to show you some things. So first of all, we have the California poppy here. You know, can't really mistake it. It's all over the Southwest and the West. The scientific name is escaping me at the moment, but I'll put it in the description below. I know it's Eschscholzia, I think it's Eschscholzia californicum, or californica, something like that. But, you know, unmistakable, beautiful little yellow or orange cup flowers here. And these lovely kind of feathery flowers, or excuse me, feathery leaves. And these are, I think, loosely related to the opium poppies, but they are nowhere near as strong, and so obviously they are much, much safer. There's no risk of overdose, no risk of, sorry, there's a U-Haul here. So no risk of overdose, no risk of overdose, no risk of addiction, and no risk of hangover or anything like that. But it's a wonderful, gentle tea to help put you to sleep and to help calm down, especially in times like these where you're going to have a lot of anxiety about, you know, everything in the world that's happening. It's also safe for use with kids. This is a kind of a famous and favorite beloved remedy in my in curanderismo, the traditional healing art of Mexico in the Southwest. So pretty much the entire plant above the ground is useful. You can just go ahead and dry that up and turn it into a tea whenever you need to, about a heaping teaspoon or tablespoon as needed, in about like 6 to 8 ounces of hot water before bed. And it's just really lovely, especially if you combine it with something like chamomile, lavender, tila, linden flower in English. All great things. Right next to it, we have a true poppy, and specifically this is a wild poppy, amapola silvestre in Espanol, and they're related to the opium poppy, but not nearly as strong. Once again, there isn't really a risk of addiction, overdose, or anything like that, but if you use too much of it, you know, if you're trying to get high or something, you will be sorely disappointed and wake up with a hangover. So I don't recommend it, but it's excellent for some pain relief. One of the things about COVID-19 is that apparently it can be harmful to take aspirin or ibuprofen, you know, painkillers that are based on salicylic acid. So white willow bark and slippery elm and a lot of those other wonderful herbal painkillers are going to be not the best ones to take if you suspect you may have contracted the virus. And you know, in these days it's best to assume that that you have contracted it, that you're asymptomatic, and to just you know, proceed with the assumption that you have it so you don't spread it to others. But you know, if we assume that we have it, we don't want to use anything with salicylic acid. So amapola silvestre, poppies like this, or the California poppies, will be really, really great alternatives for pain relief. Once again, we have some true dandelion growing here, not the chicory. Taraxacum officinale, if I remember correctly. Dandelion, of course, makes excellent greens. So good for eating in salads or cooked up. The roots, of course, are medicinal. They're a nice diuretic that help clean out the kidneys, the urinary tract, and just generally help avoid things like kidney stones, things like that. And that's the leaves and the roots. They can also help with stomach problems, I believe. And what else we got here? Well, so we have brittle bush here. Anxielia is the genus name, and I can't remember the species name off the top of my head. I'll put it in the description below. But again, it's easy to mistake for sage because the leaves look pretty similar. But unlike sage, the plant does not have square stems. It does not, and also the leaves grow kind of in this clustered spiral around the stem. I don't know how well you can see that there. But in members of the mint family, which include the sages, the leaves grow 2 by 2 up the stem. Also, these flowers are a dead giveaway. This is much more looking like an aster or something like that than any kind of sage or mint. So, Anxielia, or excuse me, the brittle bush is called incienso in Spanish, or incense. And it's because it produces these really beautiful golden teardrops of resin that just naturally form on the stems. In fact, you can see some of that resin right there. So I'm kind of starting to collect along some of those stems. In the late summer is the best time to gather that resin because you'll find it turned into little amber-like droplets right on the ground, and you can just pick them up as they are. Those little resin beads can be burned over coals just like you would frankincense or myrrh or copal, and it smells really similar to frankincense, not quite as strong for those who have allergies to it. And so it's really wonderful for cleansing a space of any negative energy, especially like anxious or fearful vibes during a pandemic, one might say, and just kind of calming and soothing. You can also chew on that resin, or you can make a tea from the leaves to help with cold sores in the mouth or any irritation of the gums, anything like that. It's a really great astringent tea to help with any complaints of the mouth. And you can also use it externally as a wash if you have any rashes or cuts or anything like that. Okay, here's some of our friends from yesterday. We have Malva, our wonderful toilet paper if we need it. But also, I forgot to mention yesterday that the leaves are medicinal as well. You can use them. They have really great emollient properties, which means if you use them externally, you can use them for rashes, irritated skin, sunburns, windburns. Anytime that you have irritation of the skin, it's really great. Same thing for the roots. The roots are also a good digestive aid in case you have any stomach or GI problems. Okay, what else we got here? Yeah, we have our chicory from yesterday growing up here. This is what you want to look for if you're going to be gathering them for food. Like, these are nice young chicory leaves. They haven't quite gotten the red stem yet, so they're not quite mature, and that's perfect timing for eating because they're tender and sweet and oh so delicious in a salad or something like that. Is my means of conveyance. Okay, thank you so much to these neighbors. I can't tell you how much it means to be able to walk through a garden this beautiful. Okay, so of course we have romero, or rosemary. This is a common garden plant, obviously not native to the Southwest, introduced by the European invaders during colonial era, but it has grown to be one of our hardiest and most beloved, of course, introduced species in the Southwest and in the Americas in general. This is one of those wonder plants that if you have it, you probably don't really ever need to get sick, you know. It is strongly antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial, and so this is great for cleaning any like superficial cuts, rashes, anything along those lines. Great tea for colds, for coughs, for any problem of the chest and lungs and throat and head, basically. And of course, it's really wonderful for cooking with. For those of us who practice curanderismo, a bundle of romero, a bundle of rosemary, is pretty much the most traditional, most beloved bundle of herbs used for barridas, which is a type of limpia, or type of cleansing where you brush the plant over the body to remove any negative spirits or energy, or oops, excuse me, I got my fingers in the shot, anything like that. Okay, I have a beautiful borraja here, borage. Look at that. I love these flowers, almost like stars. Really, this can't be mistaken for just about anything else. Big, beautiful, lush leaves. Got a little baby one over here. Borraja, or borage, is great for breaking fevers. And I'll put a little more information about that one below as well. This one you want to be careful, I believe, for nursing or pregnant women. And you don't want to use it for too long. Prolonged use can ultimately be harmful. But if you have a fever, for example, if God forbid you've contracted COVID-19, this is one way to help manage those fever symptoms. Again, per the CDC and per our local hospitals, if you have symptoms of COVID-19, it's best to stay at home, and anybody who's in the house with you should stay at home as well and quarantine just in case. And only go to the hospital if you really absolutely can't manage it yourself. You've tried everything and none of it's working. That's when you go to the hospital, because right now they need as many beds and as many resources as they can get. So if you can cure it yourself, please do. And the beautiful thing is nuestra linda cultura, nuestras tradiciones hermosas, nuestro curanderismo, our wonderful traditions, our plant helpers here, our traditional medicine gives us so many wonderful tools to solve those problems at home and really try everything before having to take any resources from the hospital. Okay, so what else we got here? All kinds of beautiful plants. Wow. Okay. So, looks like we got some sunflowers coming up. They haven't quite bloomed yet. But you can see the kind of classic stalk and leaves here. Yeah, I got some sunflowers ready to start sprouting up top here. Sunflowers are a great external pain remedy. So once again, we're talking about pain remedies that aren't going to exacerbate or hurt if you might have the virus. Externally, what you can do is make a really strong tea of the girasol, or añil are the words in Spanish. You can make a really strong tea out of the entire above ground plant, including the flowers, and add that tea to your bath, and that'll really help soothe any aching joints, aching muscles, back pain, that kind of thing. You can also dry the plant and kind of crush it up and take a good heaping handful, fold that into a hot washcloth, and apply that to directly to any specific area. So if you banged up your elbow or something and just want some localized pain relief, you can do that with sunflower. or even better, with tobacco, which also grows wild here in the Southwest. In fact, I think there might be a tobacco plant growing nearby. No, never mind. Okay, well, if I find one, I'll make sure to make a video on it, because it's another one of those wonder plants. All right, we have some nasturtiums over here. These guys are wonderful. They look like something out of the tropics that for some reason are growing in the desert. But these have a wonderful peppery flavor, which are great for salads. The flowers or the leaves. You can also cook them up. I know they have medicinal properties as well, which at the moment are escaping me at the top of my head. But these guys love a lot of sun, and they will take over a garden, so they can make some really beautiful ground cover. So highly recommend planting some of those, so that you always have some medicine and some delicious food on hand. All right, well, I don't want to overstay my welcome. There's all kinds of other plants here that are wonderful and curative and edible, but I think we're going to leave it there for now. So once again, I know these times are difficult, they're scary, they're uncertain, but take comfort and solace, and I hope a little bit of joy in the knowledge that, you know, as you start learning more of these plants, they stop becoming weeds, or they stop becoming just features in the landscape, and they start becoming friends that you recognize and that you know you can depend on and rely on, you know, in times of difficulty or uncertainty. Great way to stretch that grocery store budget, to keep up that preventative health and maintenance health, and even mild curative health, and to help, you know, flatten the curve and fight the virus, because you can always gather in small groups, staying of course 6 feet apart, keep your social distancing and everything. But it's a great way to get out of the house, have some natural beauty, even in the middle of the city. You know, this is just a regular neighborhood here in Tempe, Arizona, but you will find these plants pretty much all over the Southwest and northern Mexico. So yeah, if you have any questions, always feel free to leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out. I hope you enjoy. And if you have any specific questions or requests, always feel free to leave a comment or send me a message, and I'll do my best to answer, because I absolutely adore talking about plants and sharing details about my linda cultura, my curanderismo, and just the beautiful edible and medicinal desert that we live in. All right, thank you very much for your time. Los quiero mucho. Espero que tengan buen día. Que Dios los bendiga. And stay safe, stay healthy, and stay green.